Alright, welcome back to our Introduction to Linguistics class. And today we will talk about the other approach that we can use to analyze the discourse. And this time we will talk about ethnography of communication. This theory or this idea was brought by an expert, actually ethnographist and also a sociolinguist. His name is Delheims. Okay, so let's discuss about this one. A brief discussion, actually, just an introduction. Okay, so let's check it out. What is it? That's the first question. So it is the analysis of communication within the wider context of the social and cultural. So again, this one is also about the social and cultural practices and also beliefs of the members of a particular culture of a speech community. So again, like the social linguistics, this one is also talking about the area that is closely related to the social and also the cultural practices and even the beliefs, right? Yeah, so they are members of a speech community. So the question is, what is speech community? Okay, speech community is a group of people who share a set of linguistic norms and expectations. So they have the same thing, they have the same idea in their mind about the linguistic norms and expectation regarding the use of the language. So these people are the one who we call speech community. Okay. This concept is also mostly associated with the social linguistics and anthropological linguistics. So again, what is ethnography of communication? So see, it is the analysis of communication within a speech community, and speech community is a group of people who share a set of linguistic norms and expectations regarding the use of a language. So this one is clear, right? This is why we are using ethnography of communication in analyzing the discourse or finding the discourse and finding the real meaning of conversations or utterances. Okay, now to analyze using this approach or this theory, Himes developed a model, a mnemonic speaking model. Yeah, so this is quite famous. The speaking model developed by Himes. This framework is the analysis. So by using this framework, we can analyze the meaning or the discourse of an utterance or a conversation in the social and cultural context. Speaking, what is it? So here we have the mnemonic explanation. S is for setting and scene. P is for participants. E is for ends. A is act sequences. K is the key. I is the instrumentalities. N is norms. And G is for genres. Okay, so let's go to the explanation of these points. So when we want to understand things, when we want to understand a conversation, we have to pay attention to this speaking. Okay, S stands for setting and scene, is where a speech or event is located in time and space. For example, campus, school, home, boarding house, and somewhere else. So when we want to understand a conversation or an utterance, we have to pay attention to the setting and the scene, because a meaning from a meaning that is intended by a speaker can be different based on the setting and the scene. If someone is talking at campus, it will have a quite different meaning when he is talking at home, right? The location gives a clearer meaning for the utterances. Okay, that is the first one. The second one is the P, participants. Participants are the one who takes part in the speech event. And it will role like the speaker, addressee, and audience. So the example is lecturer and students, friends, family members. If you are paying attention to these people, When they are talking, they will have different words, different style and everything, and of course the meaning will be a bit different, right? Yeah, when you are talking to your friends, you are not going to use the same words, the same diction, the same varieties of language when you are talking to your lecturer. Or in your family members, it's gonna be different if you are talking to your father, your mother, or someone who is older. So participants should be taken for attention when we are understanding an utterance. The next one is ends. So ends is what the purpose of the speech event is and what its outcome is meant to be. For example, is it for telling jokes or giving information or telling facts? Yeah, when someone is giving information, then the meaning will be different from someone who is doing sarcasm, right? So ends is one of the more important points when we want to understand an utterance or a discourse. The next one is the act sequence. What speech acts make up the speech event and what order they are performed in. Yeah, when we want to understand, we should understand the speech acts used inside the utterances. For example, directing, promising, and warning. And we should pay attention what order they are in the sentences. For example, promising first and then warning, and then we understand that that person is telling that there is a consequences for everything we do. That is the act sequence. The next one is the K. It is key refers to the tone or manner of a performance. So when we want to understand someone's talking or someone's utterances, we have to pay attention to the key, whether that person is serious or joking or sincere or even ironic. Because when we are talking seriously and then we are making a joke, even though the language is the same, but when the key is different, the meaning will be different. Okay, the next one is I, instrumentalities. It is related to what channel or medium of communication is used and what language or variety is selected from the participants' repertoire. For example, is the communication in form of speaking, or is it in form of signing, or writing, or drumming, or whistling, or any other ones, yelling and blah blah blah. Yeah. When we are speaking directly, it's gonna be different from when we are writing something, right? So the instrumentalities will be one of the most important things when we are understanding someone's talk, because the language we use in our speaking and in our writing will be very much different, and the meaning will be different because yeah, this one we have the face-to-face context, and this one we just have to read what is the writing about. Okay, the next one is N, norms of interaction. This part, norms of interaction, refer to the conventional rules relating to the conduct of the speech event. For example, the rules about floor holding. So we have rules or norms when we are doing the interaction. Who is leading the dialogue, who is leading the conversation, who is superior and who is subordinate. The turn taking, who has to speak and then who has to keep silent or listen to the speaker. And delivery, and also the topic. I mean, I believe you understand this one. So delivery is how we should deliver that and what topic we are talking about. That is the norms of interaction. And then the last one is about the genre. Genres is the type of the speech event belongs to. For example, when someone is interviewing, the language will be much different from the one in gossiping, right? And of course, when they are using the different language, the meaning will be also different. Or sometimes the word we use in interview is the same as the one we are using in gossip. But because they are having the different genres, the meaning will be different. So when we try to analyze or understand the discourse, don't forget about this part. This is the first one, and then the other pre-existing conventional forms of speech are drowned or cited in producing appropriate contribution to talk. So when someone is talking, we have to understand how can that person is talking. Yeah, for example, quoting from mythology or poetry or scripture. So it's talking about the difference when someone is talking. Why? Because when we understand it is from mythology, and then we understand that that person is not talking about something real. So we can understand the real meaning by trying to understand where the speech spoken by the speaker is from. So that is the mnemonic speaking. By paying attention to those aspects, we can understand better about someone's utterance, or we can understand much better the languages used in interaction. Okay, that's all about ethnography of communication, a brief explanation. I hope it's going to be very useful for you, and thank you. See you. Good luck.